Hi, my name is Amber Marcusick, and this is the timeline of exploitation. First and foremost, I understand that there are different perspectives as to how and when the first humans evolved, but for the sake of this introduction, we're going to focus on a scientific perspective. Although we do not know exactly when humans first evolved, we do know that as some of the oldest species, called Homo habilis, showed up in eastern and southern Africa about 2.5 million years ago, followed by Homo rhodophinus. I probably didn't say that right, but so I'm a biology major, not English. Moving on. They showed up in eastern Africa 1.9 million years ago. Then Homo erectus, again, probably said that wrong, in southern Africa all the way to modern day China and Indonesia 1.89 million to 110,000 years ago. Lastly, Neanderthals in Siberia around 100,000 years ago. Now, I know you're wondering, what does this have to do with marine mammals and how this human race right here has exploited them for years? First and foremost, no, I did not pick a bald man for further confirm the information I'm about to tell you. If I did, go me. Anyways, second, we as humans are a lot more similar to dolphins than we would assume. We both give birth to our children alive, therefore we are both considered mammals scientifically. Here's some interesting yet quick similarities between us and them. Number one is believe that they call their unborn children by name. They give them a signature whistle. Just like we all have our first and last name. Yes, we all have, some of us have the same first and last name, but we're all different. Number two, they talk in dialects. Dolphins from different areas have different whistles. Just like us, we have a completely different language than those in Russia. But we also have a completely different accent, at least I do, from where I'm from in Chicago to those in Texas, for example. Number three, the chromosomes in us and them are actually very similar. Fourth, mothers nurse their babies, just like most mothers do here. Lastly, we both have emotions. Whether you want to admit it or not, we all have emotions. Now let me tell you a story. I would assume the majority of you are 19 to lower 20s in age. So hypothetically speaking, say you're born in 2001. In 2001, the central rock rat went extinct. Now you're in the 5th grade, about to start middle school in 2012, and the Pinta giant tortoise goes extinct. Moving on. You're starting your 2nd semester of high school in 2016, and another rat species goes extinct. Then you're about to start your last and final semester of high school, getting ready to start college in 2018, and yeah, you guessed it, another animal went extinct, this time the northern white rhino. Thankfully, though, it's hard to get to our friend the dolphin from earlier, right? I mean, they're in the ocean, so they're not as easily accessible to take off this earth because of our human-made detrimental undoings, right? Wrong, not necessarily. Just before you started your senior year in 2017, this cousin of our dolphin from before went extinct in China's waters. For one reason or another, these species went extinct because of something that the human race did to affect the chances of them thriving. Now to get in the good stuff that we're all here for, our impact on the well-being of marine mammals. What is a marine mammal? Well, this category includes whales, dolphins, and porpoises. My favorite being the killer whale, just in case you were wondering. We have the dugong and the manatee. seals, sea lions, and the walrus, and sea otters and marine otters. But one more. You may be a little surprised. The polar bear is considered a marine mammal. The first, most popular, and most impactful human-made disturbance to marine mammals worldwide is global warming. Of course. With recent tools, it has been determined that global warming started in as early as the 1830s, but the first big difference within the environment wasn't noticed until the 1950s. Here I'm going to show you a short video about it. Just depicts the sea surface temperature rising. It's about 2 minutes. Interesting, right? I was gonna say it doesn't look like the Earth is breathing, but majority of things on Earth are living, so I guess I guess that would be pretty accurate. The following graph provides evidence that atmospheric CO2 has increased dramatically since the Industrial Revolution, compared to the past climate measures over the past 800,000 years. And there's our little 1950 level we were talking about earlier. Considering the ocean absorbs more than 90%, 93% to be exact, of the excess heat that is given off from climate change, with the sea temperature rising, this means that the land temperature is rising as well. Unfortunately, because of the sea temperature rising, obviously this means the sea surface is rising similarly to land. Because of this, you see ice drastically melting. Since the decrease in ice has started, it is now said that up to 28 trillion tons of ice has melted in total. This means that roughly 3% of all the extra energy trapped within Earth's system by climate change has gone towards turning ice into water. Now, going back to our not so marine life, but still marine mammal, the polar bear, his environment is obviously greatly impacted by global warming, considering they live in ice, they live, breed, and feed off the ice. And with less ice, their habitat is decreasing dramatically compared to past years. And it's unfortunately only getting worse. Moving on to a second threat caused by humans and probably a close tie with global warming: plastic pollution. Here's our friend Dolphin back once again to show us exactly what's polluting his home. Seals, whales, turtles, and other animals are strangled by abandoned fishing gear or discarded six-pack rings, which he has here, unfortunately. Each year, 8 million tons of plastic find its way into our oceans. That's the equivalent of setting 5 garbage bags full of trash on every foot of coastline around the world. What doesn't help the situation is that since 1950, sounds awfully familiar over here, doesn't it? The production of plastic has gone from 2.3 million tons to 448 million tons by 2015, and is expected to double by 2050. Now, unfortunately, we're going to move on to one of the more violent effects of humans on marine mammals, which is hunting. Norwegians were among the first to hunt whales as early as 4,000 years ago. But Japan could have started even sooner. There's just not much proof of it. This is a tragedy that our dolphins family is too familiar with. Hunting smaller marine mammals like dolphins usually happens on coastal waters and is conducted on a small, localized scale. One of the most well-known examples of these activities is the annual hunting done by 26 fishermen of dolphins on the coastline waters of Japan. Unfortunately, dolphins are not the only marine mammal targeted by the human species. Whales have been sought out for their oil and meat, pinnipeds for their oil and pelts, and sea otters have been hunted for their furs, and sirenians mainly for their flesh and skins. Our fourth issue is brought about by traffic in the ocean, boat traffic to be exact. Let's play a quick game of I Spy. Ready? I spy a right whale. Do you see her? How about now? I didn't see her at first either. If I wouldn't have told you that there was a whale there, the chances of you noticing her are rather slim. That's what a ship sees when they're traveling in the ocean, only they're going a lot faster and they're not staring directly at her saying, hey, there's a whale there. They just are doing their jobs. Marine mammals are one of the largest groups that fall victim to vessel strikes. Whales especially are affected the most because they live in areas where there tends to be fast transiting vessel traffic. Also because of the fact that they have a low profile when surfacing, and a lot of times they may not even be able to detect that a ship is there before doing so. The NOAA urges those who operate sea vessels to slow down if you're in an area where there's a large amount of marine life. In doing so, and all the time, keep watch. Because it only takes a quick second for a whale to breach. Move away. They say to stay at least 100 yards away from whales and turtles and 500 yards away from right whales. And lastly, report to your local stranding network if you see an injured, entangled, stranded, or dead marine mammal. Lastly, a less spoken about issue, noise pollution. Ocean noise refers to sounds made by human activities that can interfere with or obscure the ability of marine animals to hear natural sounds in the ocean. Marine mammals rely highly on sound for their survival, especially when it comes to communication. Over the last century, human activities such as shipping, recreational boating, and energy exploration have increased along our coasts, offshore, and deep ocean environments. These sounds can travel far distances in the water as well. Higher noise levels can affect the ability of animals to communicate with potential mates, other group members, their offspring, and/or feeding partners. I hope my presentation was very informative and helps you understand how important it is for us to take care of our planet and its inhabitants, including ourselves, because unfortunately, as much as Elon Musk wants to go to the moon, there's no planet B like this one. Thank you.